everyone. This is to be the second video, second course about the software, and this time we're going to cover the software system or the operating system, and it's going to be Windows. Windows operating system, as we always know, or as we all know, is an application that will allow you to use the machine. It will allow you to process the data. It will allow you to watch and process and document and so on. So uh, the reason why we're focusing on Windows is because it's a famous operating system that will definitely find a lot in the computers. And that's why we're kind of focusing it as an example so that way you'll be familiar with the operating system. It is more, of course, the operating system. There is Mac OS, there is Linux, Chrome OS, and so on. And of course, the Windows, the famous one, um, is the one that most of people, most of users are using mostly in the company's personal lives and so on. So the first slide is just showing you some different versions of the operating systems, and we'll go to um, the history of the operating system. If we go to the history, it's like it was released in 1985 and as a graphical operating system built in MS-DOS, Windows has evolved significantly. So the Windows 1.0 or 1.0 is like what we call the MS-DOS and has a minimal graphical interface, some icons that can be clickable, and this back in again, as I mentioned, 1985. If you don't know, the MS-DOS is kind of similar to CMD or command prompt, and it allow you to execute the commands and do what we're doing right now in the GUI by moving the mouse and clicking all those stuff. We used to do those in MS-DOS, I would say, the minimal uh, processes, so it's not allowing you to do everything, but most of the work can be done just in MS-DOS. The Windows 2.0 improved the graphical interface plus ability to minimize and maximize. So, and then of course, it's also where the control panel for the setting was released as well. This back in 1987. The Windows 3.0, first version of Windows that became popular, and the ability to multitask and run multiple programs in the meantime. This back in the 1990s. Windows 95 has both feature, graphical interface, and MS-DOS, and then like built-in internet browser, which allow you to use the internet in what we call at that time Internet Explorer as a browser, which was retired, I would say maybe 2015 or something like that. I'm not too sure about the date, but it was retired, so we don't use the Internet Explorer anymore. Since then, it was replaced with the Microsoft Edge right now. So the Windows 95 was released in 1995. Windows XP, this is a version was released in 2001, offering multiple editions for consumers like business, media, developers, etc. It's I would say it's the date where the Windows operating system has more of users and has more people to using it. Windows 7, um, so it was like released, and the focus was on a speed or speed improvement and modest system requirement. And this back in 2009. Windows 10, which we all know, I believe some of the machinery now still have Windows 10, more improvement and free upgrades. And then it was released in 2015. And recently, and the last operating system that we are using right now as Windows 11, it is the latest version and with more improvement, and it was released back in 2021. Now, most of companies or most of devices are required to move to Windows 11 from Windows 10 or from Windows 8. So those both two versions are kind of being retired, and 2021 is, or actually Windows 11 is the new version, and that's the one that you're gonna find on most of Windows or most of laptops um, recently. So as you can see on the image right here, that's Windows 95, how it was the time when we don't have the digital things. We used to use just a CD-ROM that has the operating system installed on it, and we're using it as a bootable device or bootable, uh, I would say, CD-ROM that will allow you to install and reimage the machine with it. So since Windows 11 is the focus, is one that most of computers have right now, or most of even computers, companies, personal use, and so on, we're going to be focusing on that as the start. So on Windows 11, so it includes productivity tools that help users to find what they need quickly, multitask efficiently, stay productive during a busy school day, designed for teachers, administrators, and adult students, and of course for even regular users as well. So it has like a lot of built-in features where you can just it's kind of a mix between Windows XP, Windows 7, and Windows 10, of course. So it's kind of very easy to use. It's familiar with everyone can use it with no problems. So there is like a lot of features, a lot of things to cover. We will not go in details with all these, but I will focus on just some of the important part or configuration or tools or features of Windows 11. First of all, a start menu where once you click on start menu, you will see all different applications and the setting as well, where you can just access the configuration and so on. And then once you go to the Windows settings, is where you can just change the configuration, make the adjustment, change the time, change the setting about display, time zone, updates, and so on. All these can be found under setting at once without even going to other features or other applications or other, I would say, apps or tools that will allow you to do more changes. So everything can be done on the setting, plus the device manager, where you can also, I would say, manage your equipment or the peripherals of your machine. Like when we're talking about the drivers, install drivers, update drivers, and so on, these are going to be found in um, device manager. So once you access the device manager, you'll be able to make those changes for the drivers and so on. So these are just going to be briefly on how to customize a desktop, and of course to for Teams and chat integration. Um, so we will just go briefly on these. Snap multitasking, performance of like enhancement. I will post these on the video comments so that way you can just get more details and you can go through these by yourself. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out back. Yep, looking for the accessibility features. So the impact on learning, key features as well. And then Windows 11 security features, protecting student educators, schools from cyber attack threats. It's not just for these, um, not just for student educators, school, for also employees, for companies, for personal use, and so on. So, So built-in protections from chip to cloud as well, on how to keep your system and your computer securized. They're the security features that you're gonna find in Windows 11. And then Windows 11 management deployment features, simplifying setup, saving time, and supporting users in general, just student or access. Why Windows 11 matters for IT support, empowering IT team to deliver secure, efficient, and inclusive learning environment. So this is for like the IT support. If you would like to learn IT support, this is some of the key to help you get familiar with the Windows 11. Then if we go on talking about other features of Windows 11, so we're going to go, for example, for the computer management. So it is vital for maintaining the health and performance of your computer. It allows you to manage hardware, configure settings, view settings, system information, and resolve problems efficiently, enhancing overall productivity and user experience. Computer management, no access it. We have different ways to access the computer management. You can access Windows 11 um, computer management relying on commands. You can also uh, press Windows plus R hotkey to open Windows 11 run command, and you can access it through typing or input comp mgmt.msc, and then of course when you click on enter you'll just be opening it. The other way is just to type it on the Windows search by just typing computer management, and then you will see it, and you'll be able to just open that. So these are different ways to open it, and this is how the computer management looks like. So we'll go through these in separate videos as well. So we'll kind of going through computer management step by step on how to use those menus like file, action, view, and help, and also how to use the computer management local tools. And for example, we're talking about system tools like the task scheduler, event viewer, shared folders, performance, device manager. So all these features that will help you to do something on the computer. So when we're, for example, talking about the event viewer, will help you to go through the logs. If something wrong with your machine, if an application corrupted, if someone has access to your machine, whatever, you can always go back to the logs and get all the details from that event viewer. So we'll go through all these details in the upcoming videos for sure, explaining each one of those and how it works. Also, Windows 11 services. Services can be found on all the operating systems, of course. So servers are usually referred to as essential programs running in the background to allow the system and apps to operate as intended with corresponding features like printing, networking, authentication, and many more. Although the operating system manager manages services automatically, sometimes you might have to manually control one or more services to troubleshoot problems with an app or Windows features when a program requires managing services manually. So you can stop, you can start, you can enable, you can disable services using that services app. So also we're going to cover this in a different video because it's also an important feature and part of Windows 11. And this is how it looks like when you're accessing Windows services. This is the different, uh, the explanation of Windows or stop services, how you're gonna stop, the process that you're gonna follow to stop the service, how to re-enable it back or start it back, and so on. So this is a step to steps to stop a service by right clicking on the service that you're looking for, and then you can just click stop, or you can just double click it and this will pop up and then you can choose stop comment. Same thing for start service, as you can see. Enable services, same thing. And of course, there is automatic start. Service automatically there is start. And then now we'll go to the control panel. So the control panel is also another important feature for Windows 11, or I believe most of Windows version as well, the previous one, where you can do most of work or more of the adjustment of your computer setting from the control panel. As you can see, you can just check on the system and security, network and internet, hardware and sound, programs, user count, appearance and personalization, clock and region, ease of access. So I'll click on all of these. So this is just a quick explanation of what is the control panel. Let's go briefly on this. Is a central location in Microsoft Windows where you can adjust your system setting. If you're unsure how to open the control panel, select your version of Windows from list below for instructions. This is how you're going to open the control panel in Windows 11. Always better to just type in control panel in the Windows search and you will be able to open it very quick. And this is the feature that we just mentioned about control panel. We'll go through all these in a different video as well. Accessing each one of these: system and security, network and internet, hardware and sound, programs, user account, appearance and personalization, clock and region, ease of access. And of course, we're gonna stop here for the presentation explanation. I hope that the video was not too long, and I hope that I give a brief explanation of Windows 11 and a quick and brief also explanation of the other or the history of Windows operating system. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and please follow the channel, subscribe, like, and give us your feedbacks and your thoughts.